Let's talk about something we all see every day on our city streets. Trash. Specifically, the messy, kind of weird way we collect it. We're going to dive into how a simple trash can is getting a massive tech upgrade, learning to talk, and totally changing how we keep our cities clean.
You've seen this, right? It's one of those things that just makes you shake your head. A huge garbage truck stops, blocks traffic, and worker hops out to empty a bin that's, well, basically empty. Meanwhile, you just walked past one on the last block that was overflowing with trash. It feels like a huge waste of time, fuel, and effort. 'Cause it is.
So what's the deal? How can our system be so inefficient? Well, the problem is that the system itself is pretty ancient. It all comes down to this. Most cities still collect trash on a fixed schedule. The truck shows up on Tuesday because it's Tuesday. It doesn't matter if the bin is full to the brim or if it only has one coffee cup in it. That rigid one-size-fits-all approach is exactly why we get both wasted trips and disgusting overflows.
But here's a thought. What if the trash can itself could just tell us when it's full? Well, that's exactly what's happening. The humble dustbin is getting a serious 21st century makeover.
Say hello to the IoT Automated Waste Alert Dustbin. Now that sounds super technical, but the idea is actually really simple. It's a trash can that's connected to the internet. It's smart enough to know how full it is, and it can literally send out an alert, basically calling for a pickup only when it actually needs one.
So how does this thing actually tick? Well, if you could pop the lid, you'd find a few key parts. First, there's a sensor, usually an ultrasonic one, that acts like its eyes, constantly measuring the distance to the top of the trash pile. All that information goes to the brain of the operation, a tiny little computer called a microcontroller. And once the brain decides the bin is full, a communication module, that's its voice, sends the message out over Wi-Fi or a cell network. Some of the fancier ones even have GPS to pinpoint their exact location.
This is such a great way to think about it. It's not some impossibly complex robot. It's more like a little helper with a very specific job. It uses its eyes to see how full it is, its brain to think about it, and its voice to call for help when needed. It's a perfect example of how combining simple, off-the-shelf components can create something genuinely smart that solves a real problem.
Okay, so let's follow the signal. How does that call for help actually work in the real world? Let's trace the journey from a piece of trash being thrown away to a collection crew getting an alert.
It's a really quick four-step dance. Step 1. The sensor is always monitoring, just keeping an eye on things. Then, bam, step 2. The trash level hits a preset threshold, let's say 80% full. That's the trigger. Step 3. The data gets sent. The little brain tells the voice, hey, it's time, and shoots a tiny packet of information to a central server. And finally, step 4. An alert is generated, and the crew knows exactly where to go.
Now, it's not like the sanitation department gets a literal phone call from a trash can. The alert can come in a bunch of different ways: an automated email, a simple text message, but the coolest part is usually a live web dashboard or a mobile app. The crew can just look at a map of the city and see in real time exactly which bins are lit up and ready for collection.
And this is where it all pays off. When you have that kind of live data, you don't just improve the old system, you throw it out and start a new one.
I mean, just look at the difference. You go from a fixed, rigid schedule to a dynamic, on-demand system. You stop wasting fuel on unnecessary trips and start sending trucks on the most optimized routes, hitting only the bins that need it. You prevent overflows before they happen. It's a total shift from being reactive, just cleaning up messes, to being proactive and data-driven.
And what makes it so effective? It's all about getting ahead of the problem. That alert threshold is usually set somewhere around 75 or 80%. That number is kind of the secret sauce. It gives the collection crew plenty of time to get there before the bin ever starts to overflow. It's proactive, not reactive.
The benefits here are just massive. For the city, it means huge cost savings on fuel, vehicle maintenance, and labor. For us, the citizens, it means cleaner, more hygienic streets with less litter and fewer nasty smells. And, over time, the city gathers all this amazing data to get even smarter about where to place bins and when to schedule collections. It's a win-win-win.
So, a talking trash can is definitely clever, but it's also a fantastic glimpse into a much, much bigger idea about the future of our cities. This is a perfect bite-sized example of what people mean when they talk about smart cities. The idea is to embed sensors and connectivity into our everyday infrastructure, our streetlights, our water pipes, our parking meters, and yeah, our trash cans, to make everything run more efficiently and make our lives better.
This quote from the source material really hits the nail on the head.
It's all about this fundamental shift from static, dumb routines to dynamic, intelligent, on-demand services. That's the core principle, and you can apply it to almost every service a city provides.
And that really leaves you with a pretty cool question, doesn't it? If we can make something as simple as a trash can this smart, what's next? What about parking spaces that tell your car when they're open? Or bridges that can report their own structural stress? The talking trash can isn't just cleaning up our streets, it's showing us a blueprint for a much smarter future.